In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front CV axle on your Buick Encore. This one is located behind your front driver's side wheel. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our lug nuts. Make sure you have a hand on it. Remove your wheel. We're going to unpeen our nut using a punch and a sledgehammer. Using a 36mm axle nut socket, we're going to take this nut off. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze. You may have to sand down the inside a little bit, get the rust out if you have rust. And then you may have to use a rubber mallet to tap it in there a little bit. You're definitely going to need a thin-walled socket. Set that aside. Using a 15mm socket, I'm going to take the nut off this pinch bolt. And take the nut off and hold the head of the bolt with a 15mm wrench. Now we're going to take this bolt out. We might need a punch on the other end. Try tapping it out. Using a cold chisel, we're going to split this. Start off with a small one and work your way up. Once we have this split enough, we're going to use a pry bar with our exhaust clamp, which is a little trick you can use, and pull down and get it out. Now you're going to take a rubber mallet and just tap that CV axle and see if it comes loose. All right, looks like we're ready for that to come out. I'm using a bungee cord to hold my CV axle up a little bit on this end, and I'm going to keep tapping this out. Once you get it out, you're going to pull your knuckle away. And set it aside. At this point, I'm going to pull my knuckle away with a bungee cord just to hold it away from where I'm working. We're going to put our pry bar between the transmission and the axle and give it a good push to get it out of there, like that. Now I'm going to take down my bungee cord. Make sure you have a drip pan below. We're going to insert our axle in, make sure it lines up. Once you're lined up, you can give it a good whack with your rubber mallet. There we go, that's in. Make sure you clean the area. Now that that's in, and we've cleaned the area, we're going to take off our bungee and the axle nut. Set those off to the side. Now you can turn your axle into the knuckle. You might have to move your knuckle a little bit. Once you get it lined up, you can let go of your knuckle with the bungee if you chose to use it. And turn your knuckle. Make sure you're lined up. And go through. Now we're going to push down in our control arm. Sometimes you gotta tap it into place. You can apply pressure. You can also give it a tap if needed. You can put your nut on. I'm going to snug this up and then do our torquing procedure. To torque the pinch bolt, we're going to do a 4-step procedure. The first step is 31 foot-pounds. Then we're going to loosen it about 120 degrees. And then we're going to tighten it to 26 foot-pounds. And then we're going to tighten it further to 30 to 45 degrees. And then we're going to go another 30 to 45 degrees, or a little bit less than a quarter of a turn. We're going to put our axle nut on by hand first. We're going to torque this to 37 foot-pounds. Then after that, we're going to go a little less than a quarter of a turn more. So I'm anchoring this from spinning with a pry bar. That's 37 foot-pounds, and now we're going to go a little less than a quarter of a turn. That's good. Now you can peen your nut. Just using a cold chisel and a sledgehammer. If you lost any transmission fluid while doing your axle, it's good to top it off using the manufacturer's specified fluid. Install your wheel. Start your lug nuts by hand. Make sure your bottom lug nut is centered and walk the wheel on. We're going to torque this to 100 foot-pounds in a star-like pattern using a 19mm socket.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.